Hi everyone, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm Louie and I spend a lot of time quietly wandering through nature, trying to capture wildlife and everything that is surrounding me without disturbing it. This channel is all about a peaceful, immersive experience that makes you really feel like you're out there in nature with me. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different and share with you what's in my camera bag, what gear I use to capture these peaceful nature moments. Let's get into it. Let's start with the camera body, the OM System OM1 or Olympus OM1. I've been using it for about 6 months now, and I have to say it is a beautiful piece of equipment. It's small, it's light, and surprisingly capable in low light, especially considering it is a micro four thirds sensor. But what really stands out for me is how reactive this camera is out in the field. When you're trying to capture fast-moving objects like birds or any type of wildlife, that responsiveness is extremely important. The autofocus tracking is exceptional. I haven't had the chance to try out many different brands to compare it directly, but when I have bird detection on autofocus tracking, I rarely come out with out-of-focus shots. Next up are lenses. I'm going to start with my bread and butter, the lens that is always on my camera, the Olympus 100 to 400 millimeter f5 to 6.3. So this is the first version of the lens and I absolutely love it. Some people have mentioned having issues with autofocus with this lens, and I have to say I've noticed a few times having trouble finding focus on a bird, but that is only when there's a lot of clutter, like branches between me and the bird, or just the frame being a bunch of branches around the bird. But I have to say, in clean conditions, this thing is very snappy, very fast, and extremely reliable. The build is also very solid. It's weather sealed, and for a lens of this reach, it is quite light. I won't get too much into equivalencies, but for a lens that has a reach of 800 millimeters, an equivalency to 35 millimeters or full frame, this is surprisingly light and compact. This lens has image stabilization and works beautifully with the in-body image stabilization of the OM1. Like most lenses, it's not its sharpest when it's wide open, but stop it down just a little bit and the quality of the image really does shine and really shows the sharpness of this lens. Next on the list is the lens I'm actually using to film this video. It's the Olympus 12 to 40 millimeter f2.8 Pro. This lens is a compact powerhouse. It is weatherproofed, has a solid build, fast autofocus, and really has crisp, sharp images. This lens works beautifully wide open. I use it for nature shots, landscapes, and even filming videos like this one. Now let's talk about my favorite lens of all, the Panasonic Leica Nocticron 42.5mm f1.2. Now this lens is an absolute beast. It produces some of the sharpest images I've ever taken, and with that wide 1.2 aperture, low light is rarely a problem. But beyond the sharpness, there's just something special about this lens. It's hard to explain, but there's a certain character or a feel that this lens produces with every picture it takes that makes these images really stand out. It's not just technically good, it's visually unique. Next is the Olympus 60mm 2.8 macro. Now I've only had this lens for a few weeks and it's really the first time I really do macro photography, so I can't say much about this lens just yet. But so far it's been a great experience. I can say that it's very user-friendly, easy to use, and the image that it produces are quite sharp. That said, I've been having a little bit of issues with the autofocus speed. It tends to hunt a little bit more than what I'd like, but that very well may be a learning curve on my part. I'm not used to this type of photography and I'm going to have to try a little harder and learn a bit more. Last but not least is a very small Panasonic 45 to 150 millimeter f4 to 5.6. Now I picked up this lens for just about $100 Canadian on Marketplace, and I have to say it's one of the best value purchases I've ever made on this camera. Now for something this small, it produces images that are quite impressively sharp, and when you think about the fact that this small lens is equivalent to 300 millimeters on full frame, it's almost ridiculous. Now this is a type of lens that I just toss in my camera bag just in case I do need it, and it doesn't keep up much space. And let me tell you, more than once have I been very happy it was in my camera bag. For my tripod, I use the Manfrotto Element M2 or 1002, not quite sure about the name. It's sturdy, not too heavy, but I feel very comfortable putting all of my equipment onto it. It's very easy to use with a ball head and really helps me with my nature photography. Plus, it's not too expensive. Next up in the gear that I use is the DJI Action 4. This small action camera produces great images, and combined with the weatherproofing of this camera, I can just bring it with me wherever I go without even thinking about it. The battery life is quite exceptional, and I have to say I haven't noticed any issues with autofocusing yet. Now I use this camera combined with the DJI Mic Mini, which I'm using to film this video right now. Now I've noticed that this small microphone really improves the quality of the sound of my videos and really helps reduce the wind noise when I'm outside. I have to say, sound is really an important part of videos for me because I really want the viewer to be immersed in nature. Next, my flash, I use the Godox TT350, and I haven't used it very often because I don't need it when I'm doing wildlife, but when I do use it indoors for events or even for macro photography, I can't really say anything negative about it. Sure, it's not the brightest flash, the most powerful flash, but for my use, it's perfect and it's not expensive. Now for macro photography, I'm also combining it with the Magmod diffusers, which is pretty fun, just magnets, but I haven't used it quite enough just yet to give a proper review of it. And now the last piece of equipment I want to talk about is the Peak Design Clip. This thing is absolutely amazing. The only thing I regret about it is not buying it sooner. While I'm out in nature taking pictures of wildlife, I can simply put my camera into this clip and I don't need to mind too much about it. Now for software, I use Lightroom combined with Photoshop for all of my photo edits. These programs to me are very simple, they're easy to use, they're visually pleasing, and I just find them fun to use. I also use Topaz's Gigapixel. This software helps me a lot to remove noise, which can happen a little bit more quickly when you're using Micro Four Thirds, and it really helps enhance the sharpness of images. Now I have to be honest, I haven't used it in quite a while, but when I do use it, it's so fun to use. For all of my video edits, I use DaVinci Resolve, the free version. It's simple to use. There might be a bit of a learning curve in the beginning, but it's free to use. I don't want to spend $400 on a paid version or tons of money on a different software. It works for me. And last but not least, I use Canva for all of my thumbnails on YouTube. Very simple to use, very fun. There's some nice templates. I truly enjoy using it. That's it. That's my full kit. It's not the lightest in the world, but it's what really helped me build a connection with nature the way I really want it. Calm, respectful, and real. I'm still building my channel, so if you've made it this far, thank you so much. I hope this channel gives you the same sense of calmness and wonder that I get when I'm out in nature. If you're curious about how I actually use this gear out in the field, the settings I use, how I approach wildlife, I've got a second video coming out soon that dives exactly into that. Until then, take care and I'll see you again soon.